You ever sit down at your desk and just feel like something's wrong? That's how I felt every time I used this laptop setup. So I started fixing it, one upgrade at a time. As you know, I'm on a quest to optimize every setup I have. My backpack setup, Jake's desk setup, and now it's finally time to optimize my laptop setup. This all started because I wanted a clean, portable setup, but somehow I ended up spending hundreds of dollars just to get my laptop to feel like a real computer. And still, I keep asking myself, should I just have stuck to the desktop? So today I'm going to be upgrading this setup from this rat's nest of cables to something clean, productive, and most of all, just feels good to sit down and use. And if you have a laptop setup, you might find something here that will improve your setup as well. So let's jump into it. So looking at my setup now, there are a lot of things that need changing. For one, there's cables everywhere and just random clutter on the desk, like this lotion, pens, hair clip. We'll have to get rid of all of that as soon as we can. And yes, I do just have dry hands. Also, there's just one monitor. This isn't right. Not one bit. So the goal of this upgrade is to make this setup feel like how it does to sit down at your PC setup, with every single accessory connected and working, except with a laptop. So we've got a lot of work to do, and I've got some ideas that will completely transform this setup. At first glance, there's something that we can add that will get back so much desk space, and it's quick and simple too. With a laptop, you have to take it with you every single day and then plug it into all the accessories, unlike a computer that just sits below your desk permanently connected to everything. That means the laptop has to be accessible and in reach. So right now, my laptop is just taking up valuable desk real estate without adding any value at all. It's just there. But with this upgrade, we can move it out of the way while still being able to access it. And this upgrade is a laptop stand. At first, I thought I would get a wooden vertical stand. It's super aesthetic and affordable too, at around $30. But it'll also limit my ability to use my laptop in the open position if I had to. So I think that's a no for me. Then I thought, what if I raise the laptop so it's more ergonomic? So the screen is level with my monitor, and now I can use both screens. Two screens. But when I was looking at all the notebook risers, they're just too flimsy and space consuming. They still need the desk space to work properly, so no. So I came up with a genius idea, and luckily I already had it laying around in our storage shelves anyways from another video. I got this specific stand to raise up my speakers, but unfortunately they were just too big for my tiny speakers. Luckily for me, they're the perfect size for laptops. This is the Gator Frameworks clamp-on studio speakers. They come in a pack of 2 because they're made for speakers, so I'll just be taking one for my desk and maybe use the other one for a home setup later on. It has a nice C-clamp to clamp onto your desk without drilling any holes. Plus, there's foam on top to prevent any scratches on your laptop. It's easy to adjust the height and the tilt angle with these little knobs here. Overall, it's just a super heavy duty stand, which it better be because these stands cost $99. So it might not be the best for most laptops because there's no ventilation holes, but my MacBook Air barely heats up at all. So I think I'm gonna go with it. The only downside is that the way it adjusts height is a bit unsightly with a metal bar there. I wish it was cleaner to match everything else I plan on doing to this setup. But hey, we got the laptop off the desk and space is reclaimed. Huzzah! I don't know why I wrote that. That's weird. But that doesn't solve the big problem of all these cables lying around everywhere. This laptop only has 2 ports. So to make this setup even work, I had to connect everything to random USB hubs I found laying around. These hubs are connected to my monitor, my mouse, my keyboard, my microphone, and my speakers. It works, but it doesn't exactly scream optimal. So this next upgrade is going to clear up even more desk space by cleaning up this cable mess that we have going on, and it's to use a dock. Yeah, a dock. Now, I've been looking for different docking solutions, and one of them I found was to use a monitor that's also a USB hub. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone. And after doing some research, I figured I would try out a 4K monitor too. Why not upgrade everything, right? I've always been team 1080p, but maybe it's time for an upgrade. And so I bought the Dell Ultra Sharp 27-inch 4K USB-C hub monitor for $639. But when it arrived, I was so excited. This thing could connect an Ethernet port for faster internet speed, 4 USB-A ports, and 2 USB-C ports. That was all that I needed. So I happily plugged it in, and that's when I realized I had made a $639 mistake. The resolution was beautiful at 4K, and the colors were stunning, but the refresh rate was capped at 60 Hz. It felt so sluggish. Now, I can handle 60 Hz on my phone because I'm not doing much on it, but when you're always tracking your mouse moving around at 60 Hz, it starts getting old fast. At this point, I'd spend way more than I want to admit, and my setup still didn't feel right. Meanwhile, my desktop was just sitting there in the other room. I could just go back to it. I wouldn't need any of this. So I returned the Dell monitor and I swallowed the 15% restocking fee, and it hurt, but I'm glad I returned it because I found something even better, something that solved all my cable problems without making more problems for me in the process. And this is the CalDigit TS3 Plus. It's a small rectangular prism that will cable manage everything for me. I don't have to do any work. It has everything the Dell monitor had and more, a total of 15 ports, an Ethernet port, an optical output, I don't even know what that is, a display port, USB-C and USB-A ports everywhere. And on the front, it has an SD card holder and an audio jack, which is super convenient because I use SD cards on a daily basis, and having access to them is just beautiful. And the best part is, when I come to the office, I only need to plug one single cable to my laptop and boom, everything is connected and it just works. Mouse, keyboard, monitor, everything. It solves all of my cable problems for $210, which I know is not cheap. But for the many weeks that I've been using it, it's been worth the price. But it's not perfect either. If I wanted to connect any more accessories to my dock, I don't have any more ports to work with. So maybe it would have been worth it to upgrade to the TS4 or even the TS5 Plus, but those are really expensive. So I'm gonna push that down for another day. So now that most of my desk is clearing up nicely, the next thing is all this random clutter just sitting around. So this is going to be a super quick upgrade, and it's something I've already started doing, but I just haven't finished it yet. And that's to mount places to hold things. Like these headphones here can easily be mounted rather than just placed onto my precious desk space when they're not in use. I've started this with my microphone arm already. You just swing it out of the way when I don't need it. So these Sony XM4s need a place to go. And after checking out a bunch of Reddit r/desk setup posts, I realized I just needed a simple clamp-on headphone holder. Some people like to make pegboards to store their random knickknacks, but you know, I'm not that fancy. I'm gonna keep it simple. Plus, I happen to have a desk clamp laying around somewhere, and boom, it clamps on fast. It's a C-clamp, just like the laptop stand and everything else. Isn't it just satisfying? This specific one isn't available anymore, but a quick Amazon search shows a bunch of similar ones. I do recommend a clamp instead of an adhesive because adhesive tends to degrade over time and just fall off, rendering the whole thing useless, and now it looks ugly too. This next upgrade is an unexpected one because instead of adding something new to our desk setup, we're going to be getting rid of stuff. Sometimes less is more. And that's especially true of desktop accessories that take up precious space. So I'm going to be removing my Beacon Mix Create, even though I've used it for the past 2 years religiously. With my Mac, changing audio sources is quick and easy. I only need to click 2 things to do it. Unlike Windows, where I had to go through multiple menus and click on a bunch of stuff, on Windows, the Mix Create helped streamline my audio setup so much. I could change audio sources, mute in an instant, change volume levels of different sources, but lately I found that I don't use those features anymore. So I don't think I need it. So goodbye. You've been good to me. So if you see anything on your desk that you haven't been using much, maybe it's time for it to go. It doesn't have to be a permanent change. You just try to use your desk setup without it and see if you miss it at all. And if you do, put it back. If you don't, see ya. Which leads us to the next setup upgrade, one that's been very much needed. It's an upgrade most people don't even think about, but it can make a huge difference in the amount of clutter on your desk. When I look at desk setups on Reddit, there's no way their desk is that clean all the time, right? But this upgrade will let my desk look that clean. And yes, all the time. And to do that, I'll be using under the desk drawers. Last time I did a setup upgrade, I installed a drawer right in the middle, and you all let me know exactly how dumb it was. So this time, I'm doing it right. But as a disclaimer, my husband wanted it there, so, you know, whatever. But I'm doing it right this time. Also, last time I also did not know how to use power tools, but this time I still don't, but I'm prepared with this. So Jake's Vivo drawers were super easy to mount, so this time I got two, one for each side, left and right. They're both 13-inch drawers and they should be easy to mount. You drill some holes, you screw them in, and that's it. But even with my new tool hacks, I couldn't get the screws in all the way, so Jake had to come back and tighten it with his power tools. I guess I'm not an independent woman still. Maybe someday. So yeah, let's get rid of the lotion, let's get rid of the pens, the watch, and other random stuff, and this is awesome. I know it's a little obsessive, but honestly, finding the exact right version of something is weirdly fun and satisfying. So if you do any of these upgrades, please let me know how you feel afterwards. Do you feel good about it? Now this next item is something that I always thought was gimmicky or dumb, but honestly, I think it could be a game changer. And that's to get rid of these charging cables. It's finally time to cut the wire and go wireless with a wireless charger. This one is called K-Pon. Still not going brand name here, switch and click. It's made for desks 30 millimeters in thickness, which is just barely right for my desk. And the best part is that you don't have to make holes in your desk. Once again, we're not drilling holes. This one mounts directly under it and connects to a power source. Then with this locator card, you find where the thing is mounted and you put a sticker on top and boom, that's it. It works like a charm. Now it's not the fastest charger. It's quite slow, but it definitely works for what I'm using it for. Now I always thought wireless charging was dumb, but after using a wireless setup, I get the appeal. I trickle charge my phone until it's about 80% and then I'll take it off. So easy. This next upgrade is something you all will be quite disappointed in me for not doing it earlier. I've always been a wired person, especially when it comes to my keyboards. But after seeing the wireless charger go so well, I think cutting more cables might be the way to go. Just cut. It'll clear off even more clutter on the desk and just clean up everything nicely. So for this, I figured I would get another desk mat to liven up my setup a bit, get rid of the dingy desk mat with all my hand grime and go for something bright. So I picked out the Attack on Titan Fields desk mat and it looks pretty nice. And on top of that, I'll be using a Keychron K2HE and a Keychron M3. This is one of those sleeper keyboards that looks super work appropriate, but when the clock ticks 5, it turns into a gaming monster with its Hall effect switches and adjustable actuation. Not that I do much monster gaming, just Steam Deck stuff. This mouse is great too, with its grippy sides and quiet scroll wheel. So I'm always testing different keyboards and mice, but it's nice to have something to default to after I'm done testing. And this last upgrade is something big that I wanted to save for last. It'll be a huge change and I'm not sure if I'll like it. There are droves of people that swear that this upgrade is something they'll never undo because it boosted their productivity like crazy. I've seen so many people do this in the past, but personally, I thought it was a bit extra and unnecessary. But after reading some Reddit posts, I see the appeal, so I had to go and try it out. And that's to use a horizontal monitor and a vertical monitor setup. After doing some research, it seems that the perfect setup is a 27-inch monitor that's horizontal and a 24-inch monitor that's vertical. Now I already have a 24-inch monitor, so I'm just gonna rotate it. And the other, which monitor do I get? I really wish there was a creator that does monitors like how I do keyboards. Just tell me what to get. Please make it easier for me. But I decided to risk it for the biscuit and go for a Dell 27-inch 1440 180 Hz monitor for about $200 that I happened to find on Amazon with really good reviews. In my last setup video though, someone mentioned that 2 single monitor arms are better than a dual monitor arm in most scenarios. More flexible. Which is good because I'm already using a very old Amazon Basics monitor arm. I just need to buy one more. And it looks like we're gonna go with Wano again. It's cheap, it's sturdy, and it was really easy to put together. What are the differences between a cheap monitor arm and a super nice one anyways? The Wano arm was easy to set up, it's got a C-clamp, and after some finagling around, I finally got the monitors looking decent. But dual monitors with a laptop isn't a simple plug and play situation like a PC. I needed a new tech solution. One that would let me plug in 2 HDMI ports into 1 USB-C port. And I did more research and Pluggable is a reputable brand, so I bought one of their USB-C to HDMI adapters. It worked great. I did have to install a driver. Unfortunately, it can't connect to my CalDigit TS3 Plus. Instead, I have to plug it directly into my laptop. So that's 2 cables I have to connect every time I get to work. It's not as bad as it was before though. It's way easier now. But the burning question that's what's on everyone's mind is, how is the vertical monitor setup? Is it everything you thought it would be? Well, it took some time to get used to, but it's actually amazing. For uploading a bunch of files for our editors or writing scripts on Notion, anything that requires a lot of vertical scrolling or reading, it's beautiful. And here's the final setup. There's no clutter and everything's extremely functional and earns a rightful place on my desk. Honestly, I'm still not sure if this setup was worth the money that I spent, but I do know that now it works the way that I want it to. It feels clean, fast, and productive. And if that keeps me focused and happy at work, maybe that's worth it. But if you want to see how I optimize Jake's desk and my everyday backpack, these videos are right here for you to watch. Bye!